First time ever, I have my brother here on the channel, and we're coming to the close of the trip pretty much. So I decided to drag him on here, and we're going to talk about basically bits and pieces of the trip we really enjoyed the most. So what was your whole favorite parts of the trip?
There's so many things that we went through. We saw the railroad museum. We saw the Nature and Science Museum. We went up to the Willis Tower and looked down the glass floor over 103 flights of just straight down and seeing the entire city of Chicago. We've gone on boat rides, taxiways of the actual Riverwalk. We've had amazing ice cream and Italian and what was it? Pho, Vietnamese food and Chinese food and pierogies today even. Yeah, so many good times.
Yeah,
the planetarium, the aquarium, We've been up and down this little Chicago area.
I just enjoyed being out here, with you and my sister. I mean, it's been a blast. You guys have taken me everywhere, and everything we've done has basically been focused around what we all wanted to do. But if you had to say, what would be your favorite food you've tried on this whole trip?
Favorite food I've had. There was the little hole-in-the-wall Chicago dog place. I want to say it was Downtown Dogs. And their Italian beef was just phenomenal. Spicy peppers and the beef and the sauce it just all mixed so well together to just melt in your mouth and have a good experience of flavor.
It was genuinely great. I love the pizza tour. That was fun. Getting it, what was it? What did he say? 2.5 pounds of different pizzas.
If you'd eat everything they'd give you, you'd have about 2.5 pounds of pizza in your stomach by the end of it all.
But Sean ate several extra pieces.
Yeah, so this guy probably put away at least 3 to 4 pounds. Easy. I was eating pieces, and then I'm gonna leave the crust and put it to the side. And this kid would pick up my crust and eat it, and then they would bring back the plate again and follow the pizza and be like, "Does anybody want any more?" And this guy would grab 1 or 2 more slices on every single place we went.
Yeah. And then the Railroad Museum, we went there, and the fact that we could walk not more than a few feet, see a plaque, and I'm talking about that.
Oh yeah, that was definitely hilarious because he would be like, "This is a steamer 19 something something," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, it totally is." And then we'd walk by, and then 5 feet into it, we would see the plaque that was around the corner that would say everything that he said about it. This is a 4659 whatever train that does coal.
4695.
I don't know. I don't know train.
It's cool. It's fine. That's just funny to me.
Train.
4695. Chris is over here. She didn't want to be on camera, but she's laughing over here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, out of everything, what would you say you had the most fear? I know you don't really fear a lot, but if you had something on this trip you were worried about that wouldn't go right, what were you worried about?
The biggest fear that I think I've had throughout the entire trip wasn't anything planned. I wanted to stop by and pick up some beer from a liquor store. And so we rerouted on our way back to the hotel, and we got to a little shady liquor mart, and just going through that area of just the downtrodden neighborhood and not knowing what was about to happen, but I'm just going to walk in, buy my beer, and walk out. I mean, the parking lot was just disheveled, potholes everywhere, people around the corners all over the place, just running amok. So that was honestly probably the scariest moment, just because I didn't know the locals. The town area itself just seemed what you would typically think of just as,
shady Chicago.
Yeah, bad parts of Chicago, but
shady Chicago.
Now they were friendly and fine and nice, actually, even in there.
Yeah. So we went to. I didn't manage to get a shot of it, but we went to an improv show. And what did you think of the improv show? Minus the fact it was in a bar and everything. What did you think of the improv show?
The improv show was funny. They definitely had a lot of funny little things off the cuff. Well, some of the stories were, of course, just really, that's the stretch you're going to go with it. But all in all, it was pretty funny. I would prefer, honestly, stand-up in and of itself, but improv is just great to see people think on their feet. They just have to come up with it immediately and pop into it.
My favorite improv moment was when there was a woman standing there talking about her love life and how she's single and she's got to try and find herself and all this other stuff and on and on and on and on and on. And the other improv actress that was sitting across from her was like, "So I just really need to check now."
Oh yeah, that was funny. Chris,
and then of course, the waitress one goes on and on and on.
And
more.
she keeps going, yeah.
And the other one's like, so I have a coupon. I didn't know if I needed to tell you.
Yeah.
or after, or if I can just go now.
And then she keeps going. She's like, well, so I just really feel like blah, 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 blah.
Finding myself.
And then she's like,
Yeah.
the other one's like, I'm just going to leave $200 and go.
That's all for you. Good luck to it.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah.
That was really
Those are
cool.
the best little moments for improv.
Now what? Now that we've got Chris in here, well, she's off. I'm not going to show her on cam. But what did you enjoy about the trip?
I liked it all. I liked getting to know my brother better, and I guess my biggest fear when you were talking about Paul was that maybe we wouldn't know each other very well. We wouldn't jive.
Oh yeah, it's been like 6 years since
Something
we've all
like
been
that,
together.
yeah. So I was kind of worried that, it'd be awkward or whatever. You were like a bundle of nerves when I first picked you up.
Oh yeah, I was nuts. I was worried sick because I didn't know if I'd recognize you, and I did. I got lucky and recognized you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was probably that. I really enjoyed all of it, really. We did one thing after another that was fun, so.
All right, so this one I'm afraid to ask for both of you. What's the dumbest thing I have done this whole trip? The dumbest thing.
I can't really think of anything.
Or probably the biggest smart aleck response I could have come up with. Something just drop dead funny that I've done over the trip.
I think the funniest part was teasing you about your tea.
Oh yeah. That was bad.
How did you describe that?
He said it was a funky tasting.
It was a
sweetener.
funky tasting sweetener that definitely wasn't sugar, but it was sweet and it's just weird tasting.
Yeah, it was.
And then Chris here just spontaneously like, oh yeah, so talking about funky tasting sweetness, there's this medical diabetes. Like way back in the day, doctors would check into if someone has diabetes, they would have to taste the urine of the patient to see if it was sweet. And she explains all of this way more eloquently than I have. And Sean just like, oh no, I can't drink this now. All I can think of is that. And then it just like made us all just like giggle and laugh for like 15, 20 minutes straight.
Yeah, it was
About
great.
basically, pea water.
Yeah, so we've talked about the best, the worst, the favorite food. Now, we've probably been to some really interesting places. We went on the crime tour. I didn't get anything of that. What did you guys enjoy about the crime tour?
I thought it was interesting to go to the places where all these people had died.
Yeah.
And the roads and the streets and stuff, the buildings, it all looks like a normal neighborhood. Like you wouldn't expect 7 people to have been shot right there.
Yeah.
On
Oh yeah, the
sidewalk.
Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah, the fact that we were literally, 5 feet away from where it all took place, even though the building was torn down and all that, was right there. We were also like next to the theater. We saw the theater that John Dillinger left, and the alley that he ran up and got shot down at. Like we were able to literally probably stand over where he
The
died.
place where he died, yeah, exactly.
So-
it's odd because you think of these things as like grand, epic adventures, like celebrities and whatnot, people who aren't real, and then you're standing on the very spot they died. It's just weird.
It's an interesting experience. Now, we've got about 2 minutes left before the footage cuts on me. So, going directly to you, I know you're a big fan of like the adult beverages and stuff like the beer and what have you. What by far was your favorite drink this trip?
There was a tangerine IPA that I had, and it was just most of the tangerine IPAs that I've ever had, or even any orange or any of that, blood orange. It just it's a very subtle hint. Whereas this one, you could taste the citrus, you could taste the actual tangerine to it, and it wasn't overpowering. You could taste it and enjoy it for what it was, and it wasn't a background note, and it wasn't like just trying to kick your teeth in. It was just this nice little, perfect little flavor, and I, for the life of me, can't remember what the company was. I just remember the tap when I walked into the bar had this like little white dog in a black background, and it looked kind of Native American-esque looking dog and this like crescent. And I'm like, what's that one? And they rattle off the name. They said it's a tangerine IPA, and I'm like, sounds good. I'll go for that.
So, Sean, what was the favorite food that you had? What was the best thing?
I'd have to say everything I had on the trip was really good. I really couldn't pick a favorite, but I loved the pizza. The pizza was really good, but those pierogies we had today were just stunning. But yeah, so basically that's it. That's all we've really gotten from the trip. That's the whole sum up of everything. Chris is, if you want to say farewell, you can. I'm glad that I got you on camera. That was something I've been wanting to do forever now.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm glad I got both of these guys here, and this was an awesome trip. I'm probably not going to make another video on the trip. But yeah, it was great having you guys, and
All right, Tony, we love you.
love you too.
Too bad.
Thanks, guys.